Grant Wood's The Early Days of Kanesville is a painting that captures a significant moment in the history of the American West. The painting depicts the settlement of Kanesville, Iowa in the mid-19th century, and it serves as a reminder of the challenges and triumphs that settlers faced as they ventured into the frontier. Grant Wood completed the painting in 1927. Wood was a prominent member of the regionalist movement, which sought to celebrate rural life and traditional American values. He was inspired to create The Early Days of Kanesville by his interest in American history and his own experiences living in rural Iowa. The painting portrays a scene from the early days of Kanesville, which was founded in 1846 by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The settlers established Kanesville as a temporary stopping point on their journey west. The painting depicts the pioneers building their homes, tending to their crops, and living a rugged self-sufficient life in the midst of the untamed wilderness. In 1852, Kanesville was renamed Council Bluffs. Wood's use of bold, vivid colors and his attention to detail captured the essence of life in the West during this time period. The painting also reflects Wood's interest in the heroic struggles of ordinary people.
In 1927, Eugene Epley asked Grant Wood to paint two rooms, the corn room and the pioneer room. And when he painted the pioneer room, it was kind of set aside. Very few people knew about it. The corn room, of course, was where everyone met, and it was a dining room. In 1970, two owners said we're going to make it into an apartment building for the elderly, and that the 12-foot walls would be reduced down to 8-foot. And the 8-foot walls, of course, would ruin most of Grant Wood's paintings. So Sam Brown and John Nelson did not want to ruin the murals, so they said, anyone can come in, you can take any part of it, it's yours. And that's what they did. Well, the word went out in the newspaper that Grant Wood murals were trying to be saved, and a physician, a neurosurgeon in Los Angeles, who was a Grant Wood aficionado, he said, if I come up, I called them and said, if I come up in 1970, whatever I take down, can I have? And they said, absolutely, we want to save these things. So he came up and went next door to a Sears company, bought a paint scraper, went into the pioneer room, and he took down all three murals. And of course that was 1970. When they saw it the next day, Sam Brown and John Nelson were quite surprised that they came down so easy, because Grant Wood always painted on canvas. And of course they came down easy with a paint scraper. Well, 1972, Sam Brown went out to Los Angeles and asked Dr. Hype if they could have one back. And he said, sure. And he sent one back with him. That was in 1972. And then it was stored, and they thought, well, they didn't have any place to put it because they were quite large painting, as you can see behind me. And so they said, we could loan it to the Joslin Museum. And he said that would be fine. And Joslin kept it for 11 years. So we got up to about 1983. In 1983, finally the city got it back, and then they had to restore it, and Mary Lou and Dean Jennings took it up to Minneapolis to restore it.
So the Arts Council was organized formally in 1982.
Then the reason, of course, was to carry out the mandate of the Iowa Arts Council, which was carrying out the mandate of the National Endowment for the Arts, and that was to provide all kinds of arts activities and opportunities in local communities, to fund events, organize and fund events.
The restorations came under that.
The restorations all came under that. Another reason we got involved was that this painting that's behind us came back from California, came back to the city. And believe it or not, the city had, the only place the city could store it in the basement of City Hall. Well, that was certainly no place for a piece of work like this. And the next question was, where can we put it? Now, it just seemed like this would be a great place for the mural to be. So it ended up in the Continuing Education Center here on the campus of Iowa Western Community College.
In 2022, the decision was made to move the iconic painting from the Iowa Western Community College to the Hoff Family Arts and Culture Center. The decision to move the painting was not an easy one, as it has been a significant part of the Iowa Western Community College's art collection for many years. However, the move would provide more visibility for the painting, allowing it to be viewed by a wider audience. Moving the painting would become a feat of engineering, as the painting weighs 1,000 pounds and measures 8 feet tall by 18 feet wide. Adam Van Osdel, the chief creative officer, was tasked with orchestrating this difficult move. The new home for this painting resides in the main gallery located on the 4th floor of the 124-year-old building. Moving the priceless painting proved to be very challenging, as the only option was to navigate the painting up 4 flights of stairs. Portions of the steel handrail were removed and 5 cable hoists were installed on the trusses of the stairwell ceiling.